am curious with this theme of mindset, what this has looked like for you since paying off your debt. Like, has your mindset about money changed as a result of becoming debt free?
Oh, absolutely. So I recently, it's 2021, I paid off my debt December 10th, 2015. So I recently celebrated my 6th-year debt-free anniversary, which is wild. So I've been debt-free for 6 years, and it's just night and day, my, mindset around money. I mean, when I was paying off my debt, I was very much in scarcity mindset, very much in fear and anxiety. Like, money was a constant source of stress for me. Anytime I made a purchase, it was like, it felt so hurtful. Like, did you make the right decision? Because that could have been going towards debt, or I couldn't enjoy money. That's just like the point blank of it. I just couldn't enjoy money. Now I can actually enjoy money. And being debt free, I have been able to pay for my present and for my future. And so I actually have money in investments. I have money in retirement. I have money in savings. I, have a credit card that I pay off in full every single month and use the rewards. And I can enjoy things like getting sushi out or paying for my cat's vet visit without worrying. Like, 2 months ago, I paid $800 for my cat's vet visits and vaccines. And I was just like, when they sent me the bill, but I was like, okay, I can pay this, and it's not gonna make me destitute, and that'll be fine. And if this were 8 years ago, oh my gosh, I would have been crying in a corner, feeling like I can't pay for this, like I can't afford my cat's treatments. And, it's so much more freeing when you have that option to just throw money at the problem. And I forget, there's this quote, which I really wish I knew who said it, because I can't attribute to a specific person, but I've read this quote that says, if you have a problem that money can solve, you don't have a problem. Like, just throw money at the problem. Money will solve it. Obviously, if you don't have money to solve the problem, then you have a money problem. But if you have money that can solve the problem, you don't have a problem. Just throw money at it and fix it, and that kind of enjoyment of money where, okay, this is a money problem. I'm just going to throw money at the vet bill. I'm going to throw money at, getting takeout because I'm too tired. I'm going to throw money at this or that. Like, that is beautiful, because then you can really see, oh, this is the real problem here. But then obviously, like my before life, I did have a lot of money problems. Like, if I only had money, then it would solve that problem. And so now I have that. And so it's a lot more freeing.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a combination here. And as with all of us, circumstances and perspective, that sometimes our circumstances, when they change, it really does help other aspects of our personhood. And sometimes it's perspective shifts. Usually it's a combination of both. And for you, it was, and probably for all of us too, first a perspective shift, which enables us to make circumstantial shifts, which then can lead to just overall greater well-being. For you, now being debt-free and having gone through some both perspective and circumstantial shifts, what have you seen as it relates to your mental health? Like, now having different circumstances, coming from a place of realizing there was depression present here, what are you seeing now? I'm not going to imagine that debt freedom is like the end all be all. So what
you don't struggle with like
now?
Anything now, right?
Yes.
You're totally cool.
My life's perfect. It's great.
Good.
No, okay. Yeah. Debt freedom is definitely not just like the magic bullet and your life is, suddenly free of problems. Like, there's this saying, new level, new devil. And I'm totally feeling that right now. Like, whatever new level you're at, there's going to be a new devil taunting you. And I think that's absolutely true, because it's like, okay, I'm debt free now, but now I'm aggressively trying to invest and save. I'm trying to build my self-employment career and build my income and my assets. And so that's been a different challenge. I think to your point on the mental health issue. So, I talk about this a lot in my podcast, The Mental Health and Wealth Show, as well as my book, Dear Debt. But I have clinical depression, anxiety, and OCD. I'm not ashamed to say that. But a lot of the debt-related depression was situational, based on my debt. So I just want to acknowledge there are two different, types of depression. One clinical, a psychiatrist says, you have this. I may or may not prescribe you meds, go to therapy, blah, blah, blah. Or, situational depression around a pandemic, debt, grieving a loved one. That's all normal too. So, I've had both. And so, a year and a half after paying off my debt, where just my whole world completely changed. This person that I thought I would be with forever is now no longer my partner. Learning to live alone again. Your mental health state can affect how you manage your finances. Your financial state can affect your mental health. Mm-hmm. And there are so many different situations at the intersection that just are so tied together that we just don't talk about.
Yeah. Amen. Melanie, thank you so much for your vulnerability in sharing these different parts of your journey that hold pain. There are definitely victories and triumphs and joy in here, and there are low points and barriers and difficulties and grief and loss here too. And again, just so relatable. I think what stands out to me in what you're describing here is, circumstantial shifts are helpful. Getting out of debt does have great freedoms to it, but it doesn't solve all of our problems. However, I will also say that I would imagine, and I think some of your story is alluding to this, what you went through, the journey that you've been on of writing letters to your debt, shifting your mindset, taking control of what you can take control of and letting go of what you can't, builds resilience in you and the ability to then face what comes next. That there were still difficulties. You still wake up the same person that you were, some of the core aspects of it, right? Some things have shifted, but some things stick with us. And yet it still is not for nothing, because of the strength and the resilience that builds in you to then take on and tackle the next issue that arises and the next issue that arises, all the while recognizing that you have set yourself up to handle it better and in a more beneficial way each step of the journey.
Yes, and I love that you mentioned the word resilient. I literally have a tattoo that says resilient on my wrist.
Awesome.
So I got that when my life was imploding. It's like, let's have a reminder for myself that I can see every day. So that's so funny that you mentioned that. But yeah, I totally agree. Like, you solve one problem that builds your strength and resilience, and then you can do so much better at whatever life throws your way then. And whether it's a money issue or not, you can totally throw money at the problem if you have that as a resource. And then you also just realize what's truly important that's not money related either.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I hope for all of our listeners who are hearing this, who may be stuck in a cycle of fear that says it's easier to focus on this problem of debt than it is to focus on other problems. So I'll stay in this cycle of debt because, and I'm sure that it's not even something like, I can see myself doing something like this, not totally on purpose, but saying oh, this is an easier problem to deal with and to feel anxiety about than the bigger problems that may be on the back burner. And so I hope if anybody is like me in that there's hearing freedom and permission, and hope that you can build your resiliency too, to deal with all of these problems and come out stronger on the other side. Obviously, like Melanie, as you have this really well-known personal finance writer, with a really successful in-person and virtual retreat. From where you were is so relatable, and where you are now, anybody could dream to be. So I hope people are putting the dots together to know that that's a possibility for everyone.